fellow.
And let's talk a little bit of city business here. We got Dr. Jan White. We'll talk with this. Jan's one of the newest residents of Athens, Alabama. She hasn't officially moved yet, moving across the street from us. So there's another couple of folks.
I'm excited.
And Ronnie Marks, Jimmy Gill, both y'all up here today. Y'all guess y'all got with each other last night. Who's coming up to the show today?
Yeah. Well, both of us.
Are y'all buying Lake Ida?
Oh, no, not at all.
What are we doing over there, Jimmy?
Well, we wanted to see about putting you over there.
Put me over there.
Yeah.
No, I just don't.
Well, we looked at buying that with Tom once about moving the TV station down there.
Did you really?
We did.
It's a great location.
Ain't big enough, though.
Ceilings weren't tall enough.
Yeah, City Council is looking at changing the ordinance on the zoning to allow a gym like an art studio.
Art studio.
Yeah, it'd be perfect for that.
Yeah.
Well, Tommy Johnson had it going on when that's when we first came over here. We go down every morning, drink coffee with Tommy.
Great place.
He was.
Having coffee looking out over the lake.
And filled up on Sundays, man, with that buffet he had. What else happened last night, Jimmy?
We had a few public hearings on getting a carriage company in here with a horse and buggy. I think the mayor going to ride it in the parade.
Oh, that's right. He is the Grand Marshal. We'll talk about that again. Didn't we have that once before?
We did, and that company went out of business. This is another company that has applied to use the streets of Athens for special events, and so that was a nice thing.
All right, Ronnie, since you're up here, we're honored to have you up here too. Let's talk a little bit about the Ferguson, Missouri thing last night. Is there any way something like that could happen here in the city of Athens?
Well, God forbid, I hope not. But, you know, it's always a... I've said to many people over the last few years, there are four things in every city or town in the United States, or maybe anywhere, that can tear a community apart. And the first thing is public safety. And when public safety is not there, when there's incidents that occur, and unfortunate incidents, it tears a community apart. And unfortunately, it's tearing this country apart. And it's really disturbing to me as being, and to Jimmy Gill. Jimmy and I have worked together so long, and so many other opportunities. Can it happen? Certainly. Will it happen? I sure hope and pray that it never happens in this community.
Well, Jimmy, that kind of got out of control up there, didn't it? I mean, that's just...
Well, just violence isn't an answer for anything. It's not going to solve anything.
All right, well, y'all hang on a minute. Let me talk to Dr. White a little bit. Now, what was your subject on? Veterans?
Yeah.
There's one right there from Vietnam.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have your book with you now that you kept a note in? Do you carry that everywhere?
Oh, no. I've got it at home somewhere where I kept little daily notes. Yeah.
Oh, this is a great transition into my topic because, yeah, well, there are 40.
He's good at that.
Yeah,
Y'all know I'm brilliant, don't you?
40% of veterans are older, 25 million. And there is a condition called late onset stress symptomology, LOSS, which is sometimes confused with PTSD. Okay, but LOSS is more related to aging. So what it is, it's a veteran who's lived his or her whole life without having any traumatic memories. They get older, and now they're starting to look back and having some negative memories about their combat experience.
You know, Mr. Cooper never would really talk about it up until the very end of his life. He started just little things.
Right, my daddy was that way too. But the reason I'm bringing this up now is that the holidays are coming, and we don't need to be pressing older adults to talk about these experiences. If they want to talk about it, that's perfectly fine, but don't be too probing. That can be very damaging.
Speaking of holidays, Ronnie, is there anything special going on? I know you're the Grand Marshal next week of the parade. Does that mean you're not going to have time to do the intro with Gloria as we videotape it again?
That means I always got time.
Yeah.
On TV, you know I will.
Anything special taking place this week? Jimmy, is you Ronnie here in the city of
We
Athens?
had Christmas open house downtown last week. Had the hugest, biggest crowd that we've ever had, and thank goodness the weather was good.
On
we have
Saturday.
Sip Cider weekend on Saturday. Sip Cider weekend's coming, and then the Christmas parade. Hope we get good weather for that. We're expecting a big crowd. And
Mark Yarborough.
Not because of the Grand Marshal, but because...
Yeah, Mark Yarborough, they sent something, Jenna did, that they're having a Christmas tree lighting there.
Got the Christmas lighting about 5:15.
Yeah, 5:15. So,
yeah, we got the Christmas tree lighting in Lincoln, Bridgeport. December 11th.
December 11th. Okay, so we'll got plenty of time to get on that. I want to talk about a thing right now, and Brad, if you can show that picture again of me and Liz Hurley and Adrian. Adrian Gibson passed away Sunday afternoon. He was from Fort Payne, continued to live over that way. I don't know if y'all ever had any dealings with him or not. Dan did, and Adrian hired me in 1975, hired Leah, so he had a good eye for hiring talent. Good talent. But Adrian passed away. Was it COPD? Is that what it was?
COPD, he did suffer from that, and was very painful.
He was a heavy smoker. And a lot of you folks watching may remember Adrian from owning a tour bus. And he took citizens, senior citizens, and he loved doing that, all around. But Adrian Gibson was 78 years old from Fort Payne, Alabama, just a super guy. I talked to Bob Labby yesterday, and Rick Davis. He hired all of us back in those days.
Greg Screws had something really nice written on his Facebook page about it, too, so you can go check that out. It was
it's just one of those things, and Benny Carl passed away a couple months ago. Yeah. And Country Boy Eddie's still going, as far as I know, down in Birmingham. I want to run a little piece that Alan Stroud, my buddy, works on Channel 48, sent me from Adrian doing something back in, I think, 1988. Before I go, though, I want to get y'all's predictions, since I won't see y'all again, but for the Iron Bowl.
Alabama.
Whoa! Thought you was an Auburnite.
No.
You were at our house. We had 24
I certainly was. Whoa, it was a bad one. 38,
you were too, Pete.
38-31 Alabama.
I hope it ain't that close.
Roll Tide, roll.
Yeah, roll Tide, roll. I want to go out with that in honor of my old boss and friend Adrian Gibson, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Dusty will be back with us tomorrow, and we'll do a Thanksgiving kind of little deal tomorrow, too. So y'all stay tuned for that, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.
So you kept the lawn? You still have it? He's taking some time off. We've seen some fast changes in the weather.
Yesterday was very balmy as far as temperatures were concerned. We were socked in cloud-wise, rain all over the place. Tonight we're going to be crisp and cold.
Okay.
Interesting as we look at our temperature chart, too. Notice that we usually start out with the low over here and the high over here. We've reversed that tonight simply because the high temperature for this date, January 1st, 1988, occurred at midnight, and that was 52 degrees. And it's been dropping and began dropping and stayed in the upper to mid-40s all afternoon, and we're still there. We're at 37 degrees right now after a low of 36. That 36 came about 3:30, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Let me point out one other factor here, too. Where the cold front already has gone through, bringing in these cooler temperatures to give us 37. And look down at Dothan, for example. It's 58 degrees. And that is 21-degree spread between North Alabama and South Alabama because the cold front hasn't gone through there yet. Now, because of north winds at 12 miles an hour, we have wind chill indexes that are feeling mighty, mighty uncomfortable. 22 degrees in Huntsville, 26 over in the Shoals, for example. But check it over in Memphis, 17-degree wind chill and 16 in Nashville, while down to the south it's still not at all uncomfortable. Those northerly winds will be continuing throughout the evening and into tomorrow. Humidity levels fairly high, 71% here, but drier air has come into the Shoals than what we already have here in Huntsville, so their humidity level is much lower, while the barometer very high, 30.43. From space, we can see that there's general cloud cover over all of the southeast, with the exception of a few breaks here, there, and yonder. Here's a fairly good patch of green in west central Tennessee. But we'll be seeing breaks in those clouds that will allow us to see an almost full moon overhead and some stars twinkling, and even more breaks as the night goes on. All of it associated with a frontal system that is stalled out just to the south and west of us, and it's not going to be going too much further despite a high pressure that's trying to push in from the west, and we expect to see quite a few clouds over the next 72 hours. Big line of rain associated with that frontal system, and radar from the National Weather Service in Huntsville is seeing it as well, all the way from really down around Tuscaloosa, across Birmingham and Anniston, over through Gadsden and out into Georgia in the Cherokee County area. Rest of the big picture for the entire country, lots of clear but very cold to the northwest. A lot of that cold is going to be coming down our way. Here is our map for tomorrow, which shows high pressure trying to push in, but clouds still hanging on around that frontal system. Forecast for the remainder of tonight is for mostly cloudy early, but some clearing taking place, even more clearing. A low tonight, though, of 28 chilly degrees with north winds at 10, and then for tomorrow, partly cloudy and cool, high of only 45. Normal high is 50 degrees, normal low is 31. At this time of the year, we're going to be well below that. Chance of some flakes coming our way for Sunday night and early on Monday. Going to be cold. It is winter time for sure.
Yeah.
But our rain's over.
Sorry about the game today.
Well, don't put it quite that way, Heather.
There was a controversial play at the end of that.
I wish Auburn could have won, but
Well,
I
so
agree
do
with what
we,
Pat Dye said at the end of the telecast there. Hey, the guys played hard. They were as good as Syracuse. Why not let them tie?
Well, yeah, I'm one of those people that really doesn't believe in ties. I think they should have overtime in college football because you go out there to win, not to tie. I think a tie is, I mean, who decides that?
Auburn didn't get beat. They just ran out of time.
They just ran out of time. And it was a